Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, pile number one. You chose this lizard card. We'll put your number one up here, and we will put the lizard card over here. And you also have, oh, beautiful, Divine Feminine, card number 21. The frequency of Divine Feminine supports our respective nurturing and soft side, allowing it to express itself openly and helping us to connect with our intrinsic understanding of our connection to all of creation. This actually pairs really beautiful with the lizard card because lizard medicine is all about entering the dream time. The story of the lizard is he was laying on the rock and being asked, why are you just laying about, just sleeping there? Why aren't you doing something? And lizard, more or less paraphrasing, responds, I am doing something. I'm entering the dream time. And I'm noticing what looks like on lizard's skin. It looks like stars to me, which is really, 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 really beautiful. So that paired with the Divine Feminine, it's that receptivity of the messages, the energies coming through the dream time, very much connecting to the intuition. You've got the light blue, the turquoise for the higher heart, and then you've got heart energy here, very much with the higher heart with the pink as well. Very, very strong. And you've got stars here, and I'm seeing that as being it's almost compass-like and also like a kaleidoscope. So there's just so much richness that you're navigating through. So what's being illuminated for you, my pile number ones, is really this, what I want to say is your ability, your allowability, your receptivity to the intuitive messages, your connection with the cosmos, how you journey through your beingness. Meditation for you, even if it's not as simple as sitting there cross-legged and dropping into a dream time, knowing about the ways that might be triggered for you entering of the dream time. I mean, it might be as simple as you might have very vivid dreams, and recording your dreams, having a dream journal might be very, very illuminating for you. And especially reviewing your dreams over time, because when you think about it, the dream time, when we sleep and we go into our REM sleep, that's our subconscious and our unconscious. And because our conscious mind is out of the way and our defenses are down, we're able to not get in our own way and put messages or hold up barriers to what we are thinking. And when you start to record those messages over time and you look back at them over time, you can often see patterns. You can often see, if you connect that to some of the astrology, for example, that's happening, it can often tell you about, your own astrology and some of the symbology that you're seeing in your dream journal, for example. And this is just an example. I'm not saying that you have to go and keep a dream journal, but it is very, very, a lot of people who are intuitive will keep a dream journal, and it's a very rich source of what is in your own psyche and what is in your own emotional recess and connection to past lives and connection to your heart and connection to your intuition, connection to your astral body, and on and on and on. Because there's not just the astral bodies, there's the mental plane, and then there's the causal plane as well. So this is like a really big gateway for you. And I'm noticing also that lizard is number 36, which is 3 times 12, so 3 times around the sun. So there could be something like 36 months. In 36 months, or maybe 36 months ago, you could be significant. You started something. 2 and 1 also breaks down to a 3, and then 3 and 6 is a 9. So numerology also might be key for you in interpreting some of this dream time. So I feel like what's being illuminated for you is really your ability and your access. And I feel like you're at a heightened stage at a 9. 9 is 3 times 3. 3 is kind of collaboration. So I'm seeing it as being your intuition and coming up through your body, which is interesting because it's like either I'm hearing radical rest. So that could either be sleep or it could be some form of contemplation. I'm seeing the 4 of Swords in my mind as well. So you could also be coming out of a time when you needed to heal as well. And so there may be some, you hear that the tortured artist, and I'm not saying that you're tortured. I'm just saying that the struggles that you've been through may be really rich in some of the symbology and messages that you have, the learnings that you have, the lessons, interpretations could really be something that you either channel into your art. You could help other people understand their path. You understand your own path. Plus, it's also giving that your ability to just navigate that space is just at a 9, which is the end of a stage. There's a little bit more work to be done. It's not quite a completion yet, but it is very much, you're very much at the end of a stage of a cycle that you've been at. So let's pull some tarot and go a little bit deeper. So this is the way the Panda Tarot. So you've got 7 of Pentacles. Wow, you've got the World. You've got the Moon. Oh, here we go with the intuition. You've got the Devil. The Page of Cups. I'm telling you, this is, I think, one of my favorite Page of Cups cards. You've got the 3 of Swords. Interesting. Under the World. You've got the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh, you've got the World and the Wheel of Fortune. And you've got the 6 of Pentacles as well. So just give me a minute and we will tap in and see what the details of the message are. So the 7 of Pentacles definitely indicates that there's more work to be done and you've also put in a lot of work. And it's manifesting. So you've already built a lot of whatever this is already in 3D. And it's at a functional, visible stage. And that might actually be your ability maybe to get into the zone. And that might be through something like dance, through your art, through automatic writing, again, through your dreams, that kind of thing. But your ability to connect is at a 7. 7 is also reminding me of the Pleiades. So maybe there's a connection that you have with the Pleiades as well. Like maybe they're guides, maybe you're receiving messages from the Pleiades. Also, the World signifies a turning point, the end of a karmic cycle as well. It's the last card of the major arcana. And then you have the Moon as well. So there's something about your ability now to be able to really navigate the unseen. And it's also given me the dual meaning as well, is that there might have been things that were just hidden from you and that you weren't able to see, and you had to rely on your intuition very heavily, and you were flying blind somewhat. We've also got 3, that 3 is being echoed here through 3 and 6. 3 is being echoed here also with the dragonflies, which also are a symbol of transformation, and that would ring true with the World. So you're coming to a stage of your soul's evolution where you're really elevating. And look, we talked about the stars on the lizard here, but there's stars on the bamboo on the World card. So you're really having this ability. Again, the dream time is really being highlighted, like nighttime and waking dreams. And I'm seeing Paul Atreides in Dune the movie when he's with his mom and they crash in the desert first, in the deep desert. And he says to her, you wanted me to tell you about my dreams. Well, I have waking dreams. And he talks to her about that. So you might be really like your clairvoyance, your visions, and your confidence in that might be really heightened also. I'm getting very strong throat chakra as well from this moon card. So maybe it's time in this next phase of your journey. What's been illuminated for you is that now it's time that you can actually speak these things out loud. You can speak them into existence. If it hasn't formed in the 3D insofar as that, maybe now what you want to do is put it into a business format so that you can serve others. Or maybe you want to, I don't know, I'm just saying, write a memoir or something. Or maybe you want to create something out of the messages that you're receiving, the downloads. And they say that was it like a lot of artists will say, I didn't create the art, I downloaded it and then I built it, for want of a better word. So you hear a lot of musicians, like they'll almost like that they saw it and then they put it into art form, if that makes sense. So very much a co-creation with spirit. The Devil card, I'm not getting addictions or some of the attachments kind of thing with this. This can also be a card of liberation. And I'm really getting that in this spread for you, that maybe you were up against some blocks against being able to, you might have been one of those people that was, you know, when you kind of push too hard to try and meditate, like your monkey mind can go really, it can really be in your way more than be your friend. So doing things like dropping into the femininity, dropping into your body, learning how to, and it's that dualistic thing, like doing your chop wood, carry water, building yourself up, building up your practices, building up your discipline, allows the structure for those things to kind of come in, if that makes sense. So it's the masculine working with the feminine rather than either like push energy or attraction energy. And in order to attract, we need to be discerning. So we need to have a pure vessel, and that's where the masculine energy comes in to purify the action, the karma. Karma is cause and effect. So if you're doing activities that purify your body, that purify your mind, that purify your aura, that purify your karmas, of course, we're thinking fire now. You don't have any wands on the board, and that's fine, because this is really talking about, I think the wands have been very much in your, this is the result of the fire. You're very, very much connected with the fire. And you have 3 major arcana on the board as well. You've got the Page of Cups, which is just this really beautiful, loving energy as well. So I feel like there's an innocence with this. It's of your heart. Your inner child is very much involved. Your inner child has a seat at the table. You've really nurtured and looked after your inner child. 3 of Swords, of course, that's the card of grief. So whatever heartache, struggles, betrayals you've experienced, you've really been able to alchemize them. You've really been able to, I had a trainer that used to say that we put the feelings into our body. So maybe you've been able to really process them. And I'm getting music for you as well. You know, there's, I'm hearing that ABBA song, Thank You for the Music. And I've often wondered, how did it all start? Who found out that nothing can capture a heart like a melody can? Maybe you used to like to sing when you were younger. Maybe music instantaneously puts you in that dream time. Maybe you have a playlist that really helps you connect. Maybe it's dance. Maybe you put playlist on when you're painting, for example, or you're in your making jewelry or making fashion or whatever it is that you do, or even out walking or out doing your workout. Maybe something like that, like when you get into exerting your body and dropping into your body, like then the ideas can flow. Whatever it is for you, it'll be different for everybody. Everybody has their own way of what works for them, but it could be something like that. And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune, which is suggesting that whatever stage you were at, now you're having a change in fortune, like a gateway. Maybe you were going from a building stage and now you're going into a harvest stage, a fruitful stage. And I feel like you're going from kind of that chop wood, carry water, and you weren't doing it necessarily for anything other than to be really pure in your heart, pure in your soul, deal with your karmas. I'm really getting seeker vibe for you. Being on your own adventure, and not, because often when you get involved with, let's say, manifestation, for example, they're like, just whatever it is that's in your heart, just think about it and put it on your vision board and, say your affirmations. But if you don't know what any of that kind of stuff is, there's a point at which, like, maybe that works for a time, but then when it's stuff and it's superficial, yeah, there's kind of a buzz going, I can manifest. But like when you really want to know what's in your heart and you've suffered betrayals, or life has shown you a really dark side, and you're kind of at the, well, what is it all for? That's what I'm seeing for you. That you've gone past into that deeper, truer, your unconscious self. And you're like, I think it was Mark Twain who said, the two most important days of your life are the day you were born and the day you realize why you're here. So I feel like that's kind of the turning point for you at this point. You're kind of at a new day where you're like, oh, okay, I get what the suffering was for. And I'm not saying that you'll never have a day of suffering in the rest of your life. But then you've got this depiction of Six of Pentacles, which in this card, I love it because it's a family, and there's just this joy and playfulness. They're at a well. There's balance here, and there's growth, and it's just a really integrated. It's not like, okay, we're at the top of Mount Everest and we're going to stick our flag on it. It's more of a community, more of an integrated whole kind of a vibe. So I feel like that's what's been illuminated for you, is your ability to really navigate the dream time and to download that into something that really fulfills you, makes you feel balanced, and gives you joy, and that you can share with the community, whether that be a family, whether that be, a church group, whether that be, maybe you have clients in a business, whatever that is for you. That's what I see being illuminated for you, pile number one. I want to pull some of these cards for you, because just to see if there's any more messages for you in the Lemurian Star Child Oracle deck, because I just love this deck. And we'll see, we'll pull a couple of cards and then we'll leave it there. Okay, so this popped out. Blessing beyond the soul path. Oh, honor all life, exchange of joy without karma or sacrifice. And see, she's got a rainbow. She's created a rainbow out of her hands. Really, really beautiful. And it almost looks like there's almost that wheel. Flower of life. It's flower of life. It's very faint. It's difficult to see, but it's flower of life. You really, even if your conscious mind doesn't know what it is yet, your soul is really speaking to you through the dream time as to why you're here. So you're very connected to your soul's mission. Wow. Divine Cosmic Mother Womb. You are loved, you are safe. Rest now, sleep well. You're very, very protected. And this is also giving me when you're sleeping, you're being protected by your guides, and it's also reiterating that the dream time for me, for you, sleep well. So, and mastery in your dreams, mastery in the astrals. And then Lemurian origin, flow, timeless, adaptable, free, take your time, dolphin baby. And dolphin baby is all about joy and innocence and a beginner's mind. And that ties in with, starting a new soul's stage, a new soul's phase at a new level of purity. Really, really, really gorgeous, pile number 1. I'm really happy for you. I can feel from the cards that you have been through some things. The divine feminine, the inner child, the softer, like there's a softness that's coming through for you right now. You've put in, it doesn't mean that you don't have to have your masculine online, but I feel like you don't have to be in warrior mode as much. I feel like your discernment is actually really on point. In order to be able to relax into this feminine energy, you need to have your masculine online. You need to have your discernment built up. You need to have your karmas a lot purified. You need to have your mind well trained. You need to have good routines, and that's all you're building on a foundation of that. And it's such a beautiful integration at this point. And this next soul's journey, next stage of your soul's journey, I see it being very playful and a lot of imagination and joy, and again, soft, allowing, and being in energy, and knowing the company that you keep. Yeah, I love that for you, pile number 1. I am going to leave it there, and I hope I will see you at another reading. If you like what you heard, I hope you will consider subscribing. Okay, bye, pile number 1. Hello, 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 pile number 2. You picked this porcupine card, which is card number 12. And we'll put your 2 up there. And oh, wow, you have universal love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. And 44, that's in my Bharani Matahari 44. 44 is a significant number for me personally. But it also always reminds me of Kuan Yin. So in the Kuan Yin divination system, poem number 44 talks about equanimity. So universal love is that equanimous state. It's feeling the feelings, it's seeing the truth, and knowing that you're always being connected to source, that it's a whole integrated universe, which echoes this card. And of course here we've got the indigo for the third eye. I'm seeing very strongly a lot of rootedness and Mars energy as well for almost, I want to say, like protection around your heart. And you've got red in here as well. So there's just really beautifully integrated balancing of truth, heart energy, protection, action. And then porcupine medicine. Porcupine medicine is very much to do with, it's where in the medicine wheel, it's from the south. And the south in the medicine wheel is where young souls enter the soul's journey. So it's got that youthfulness as well. So it also denotes innocence. And porcupines are very playful and very sweet and very loving animals. And they have the quills, which are poisonous, but it's only when they're pushed into fear or they're threatened that the quills come out. So that ability, like we talked about, to be equanimous, to be balanced, to recognize the truth, but not to be yanked around by it, for want of a better word, is that. And then porcupine also talks about, in the book, it talks about porcupine. There's a playfulness with porcupine. We have the present, and when porcupine sees this log, it wants to play with this log, and it's reminiscent of, you know, the kid at Christmas, where they play with the box and the packaging rather than the toy itself. And it speaks to innocence and purity and the not commercialization. Children are very led by their imaginations and the purity of the imagination. So I feel what's being illuminated for you. I never finished the story, sorry. So Bear comes along, and Bear is like all gruff, and Porcupine just sees Bear as being another playmate. And Bear is gruff, and Porcupine says, do you want to play with the log with me? And Bear is like, why would I want to do that? I'm large and in charge, and I have things to do. And Porcupine reminds Bear, but what is life if we can't also play? And Bear is very happy to remember about the lightness and the enjoyment of being able to play, and Bear and Porcupine become friends. So it's that. So I feel like what's been illuminated for you, pile number 2, is that reminder of how powerful imagination is, how powerful play is. Spirit loves play. And I think, was it Einstein who said, and Einstein obviously is, you know, he's Mr. E equals MC squared. He's Mr. Law of Relativity. He's crazy scientist. But he would say that play is the highest form of research. So the balance of having a beginner's mind and not being so weighed down by the responsibilities, and being able to tap into a lighter energy is so powerful. And I feel like you're really able to do that. So I'm just pulling, this is the Muse Tarot deck. And I was just really called to use the Muse Tarot deck for you guys. Pile number 2. 6 Pentacles, that came out in the last, as did the Devil, but in different placements. Okay. So what's been illuminated for you is the power of your imagination, pile number 2. And to start us off, we've got the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. So your creativity, and there's just so much color and so much beauty in these cards, in this deck in particular for me. So I feel like you guys are really creative as well. And you may have been in a stage of life recently where, maybe not, but some of you may have been in a stage of life where you kind of, and it's happening in the world, where you've had to have more of a focus on paying the bills or studying or passing exams or whatever. And maybe you didn't have as much time to dedicate to your creativity, to your art, to your play, to your innocence. And maybe life got a bit like it did for the bear. And this is what's being illuminated for you. And especially this would actually really play out with the astrology that's happening now. And these are timeless readings, but as of now, it's coming up on, we've just come out of eclipse season a few weeks ago at the end of February 2026, and there's a lot happening in astrologically, moving us out of the age of Pisces, but also a lot of energy happening in Mars in Aries. We've got the Three of Materials, which is the Three of Pentacles. So there's that idea of being, having some some creative idea that, you know, you've been working on. It might be at its early stages still, but then we've got the two of inspiration, which is the two of wands. So maybe you're at a decision point of wanting to, you know, this inspiration. I've worked a little bit. Do I want to take it in this direction, or do I want to take it in this direction? I mean, you'll know yourself, whatever it is. Maybe you're looking at changing career. Maybe you're looking at, you know, do I go somewhere to live? Like, do I prefer to live in the city, or do I prefer to live in the country? And what supports my passion more? Like, what serves my ability to put energy towards my passion, towards what lights me up, towards my calling, towards what gets me out of bed in the morning. Maybe you still have to work a day job, but maybe living in the country, maybe you're passionate about gardening, and maybe living in the country, it might be easier than living in, you know, in a high rise, or living in somewhere where you're not allowed to really do much in your own garden. Something like that, for example. It might be that kind of decision, or it might be something with an actual creative project. You know, you're a musician. Do I want to go this way, or do I want to go that way? Or you could be, that phrase, multi-potential. Like, you could be really talented in a lot of things, and you're like, what do I want to focus on? It could be something like that too. And then you've got the Knight of Voices, which is this beautiful, in this deck, it's the Six of Swords, or it's the Knight of Swords, I'm sorry. And the Knight of Swords is very fast moving, but this knight has wings, and the knight is also the horse. So it's this winged horse, this Pegasus, and above the clouds, and you see that there's a hole cut here above the clouds. So you're getting this, so much inspiration is coming through to you. And there's this idea of innocence and purity again. So it's coming from a really purified place, from a really innocent place. So I feel like your inner child is actually very connected, which would make sense with the innocence here. Your inner child is very, very much in the mix here. And you're very, very connected to your guides. You're very, very connected to spirit as well. And then you've got the Six of Pentacles here. And I'm noticing the roses. And the roses are the pentacles in this deck. And the roses for me are strong protection. And they also have an association with the Pleiadians, which actually came up in pile number 1 as well. So I don't know. And there might be messages for you in pile number 1, because there's a similar theme, but it's kind of different. It was more, I won't get into it, but we also had the Devil and the Six of Materials pop up in pile 1. And in this case, the Six of Materials, it's giving me, see, you've got the two of them. So it's giving me, maybe you're collaborating with somebody at this point, or not. That could be the decision, whether to go solo or whether to collaborate. It's also giving me the idea, see how it could be you looking at you, integrating your masculine and your feminine, or maybe your left brain, right brain, maybe how to balance your creative with your logical, and how to kind of bring that forward in a way that really lights you up. And so you've got a lot of Wands energy mixed with the Pentacles energy. And that's like, how do I ground my passion in? How do I build it? How do I make it be something that is part of my daily? Is it going to be for me, or am I going to share it with the world? That kind of thing. And also, that could be some of the messages that are being illuminated for you also. It could be like the messages about how I'm going to bring this into fruition and move it forward. And the Devil, we talked about this in the last pile also. The Devil doesn't always have to signify being bound and attachment and addictions as it often is. It can absolutely, but it can also be a card of liberation. Like maybe you've overcome some restraints that were around you, and now see, she's got the wings here. Maybe you're able to now move into a stage. Maybe there was something going on where you were being bound, and now you're able to make a decision, whereas in the past you kind of had were facing restrictions around that. And then the Hanged Muse is just, I love this Hanged Muse. It's just really speaking to, you know, she's inverted, obviously, because it's the Hanged Muse. But she's got her heels on, she's inverted. It's like she's having fun in her moment of introspection, in her moment of balance. Like, where do I go next? So Pisces is number 12, which is also, along with Porcupine, is number 12. So, and we're moving out of the age of Pisces. So it's giving circus vibes to me here. She's hanging out in her heels, upside down. So she's having fun in this introspective space. And she's also really, I'm getting really strong third eye for this as well. And also when you're upside down, and you know, if you do yoga, you'll know this, like when the heart, when the head is below the heart, it's actually really good for your body. When the head is below the legs, it's when the heart is below the legs, when you're in an inverted stage, it's really good. It sends blood to the heart. It's really good for your body. So, you know, taking a different perspective to maybe make that decision. And again, here we have the High Priestess, and she's got some, her third eye and her left hand, and your left hand is where you receive energy from, and she's receiving energy from this crescent moon here. She's receiving energy through her third eye. So she's really receiving the messages, and it's underneath the Knight of Voices. So the messages that she's receiving the messages through her whole body. She's seeing with her whole body. She's seeing with her whole being, her third eye, her intuition, and she's really in that space of power, of being connected. The messages are very much connected to her guides, to her higher self, to her subconscious, to her heart, to her soul, I want to say, really. And we're back to universal love. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. Like knowing that it's never wrong, that every step has something to teach us. This too shall pass, and also what is for you shall not pass you. So there's a beautiful being energy in this. I'm getting this idea of kind of experimenting in the kitchen, potions. I'm seeing Harry Potter for some reason. You know, just hocus pocus, like just playing with different energies and having fun with it, and just experimenting with the different aspects of you. I'm seeing a little child play dress up and just trying on different outfits and different, I was going to say make believe. And actually I really love that, because it's reminding me of that Katie Melua song, Happy Place. Believing ends in seeing, and it's really a potent time of manifestation for you, for whatever this creativity is. With that innocence, with that foundation that you're coming from, with this ability to like really just marinate and play and get into that beautiful, I want to say lighthearted play of your creativity is so potent and so powerful and so liberating for you right now. And it is something that is being grounded for you, should you so choose. Your intuition is on point. It's very highly connected to your soul's journey. This is really, really beautiful. I would say that you are very much probably my creative pile, my artist. And it's interesting. This is the Muse deck. I feel like you are your own muse, your inner child. Like, what would the things that really lit you up as a child might be worth kind of like considering. But what would it look like now? So maybe you loved playing dress up as a kid. Maybe getting your colors done or being a stylist and infusing that into, you know, whatever it is that you're doing. Essences and energies. Attuned to subtle energies, balance, frequency holders. I feel like your art, this is what I'm getting from this. Your art is very spiritual and very, very, very cosmic. Whether it's what you do for a living or not is completely irrelevant. But the art that you engage in, the process of bringing your art into this world, pile number 2, is very, very spiritual. It is activating for you. It's activating for others. And should you choose to share it, it will activate them. Woo! Oh, wow. Integration. Forgive self and others. Reunion. Let go of defenses. Open the door. Interesting. So maybe in the past you might have been reluctant to either allow yourself to indulge in your art. And when I say indulge, I don't mean it in a negative way, but like just that freedom to just not to be productive, just to be in play is kind of what I'm getting from this. And whatever you want to do with that and wherever you want to take it, you know, that's up to you. And then joy of life. Oh my gosh. Trust, open your hands, share, let go. So I'm seeing this is really reminding me of alchemy as well, the temperance card. And we've got the bird here and we've got singing here. It's also giving me phoenix. So maybe you're an artist who was in a stage of writer's block or a state of creative block. I see that completely changing. Look at all the colors that you have here, pile number 2. I mean, I just see there's being so much joy, so much creativity, so much play coming up for you, irrespective of whether you have some boring old job to do during the day. You still have you still have access to your imagination and your innocence. And that's really what's been illuminated for you, is just how powerful, how potent, and how impactful that is on you and for those that you serve in your community and just your very existence. You doing your art, just doing. And when I say art, I mean, it could be anything from like creating a garden or creating a business or whatever. When I say art, I mean creatively. Whatever you create in the whatever you create in the world, whatever comes of your heart, whatever comes of your soul, and that you put out there and build, that's outside of that's just really from your essence and your energy. And it's the energy that you put into the things that you create that has this colorful impact in the world. That's what's been illuminated for you, pile number 2. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you feel called to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I hope to see you at another reading. Thank you so much, pile number 2. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. So you picked the skunk card number 7. And we'll put your 3 up there. Oh, and 3 and 4 breaks down to a passion. And look at all of that passion energy there. And right at the center, you've got that bright white light. Surrounded by truth. Surrounded by cosmic energy. Purple, higher heart, pink, truth, sacral chakra, passion. Wow. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Really amazing. So this is interesting. So we've got 7 and 7 here. And we've also got 34, which is reminding me of 3-4. Skunk medicine is interesting. It's reminding me of Pepe Le Pew, the French cartoon. And he was all about, he was very passionate. He was always chasing that cat around town, and he was passionately in love with her. But he was also like, he really had a lot of self-love. He thought he was all that. He thought he was like the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas. And he was so integrous in his purity of heart, in his devotion and his love. He wasn't a cad. He was just this page of cups, this king of cups, but with this page of cups energy. So beautiful, actually. I haven't thought about that cartoon in a while. But the passion, he was so integrous in his, like, he had so much integrity in his love for her, in his pursuit of her. He just never gave up. He just was so in tune with his own heart. Oh, so beautiful. 7 is also reminding, oh my gosh, Chariot just popped out. 7 is also reminding me of the Pleiades, the seven sisters. But back to skunk medicine. Skunk medicine is all about respect. It's about being, and it's really about body language and having your respect embodied. You know when somebody walks into a room and they emanate self-respect. They have confidence. And I'm not talking about arrogance or main character syndrome or pick me vibes or any of that kind of stuff. Like real, genuine self-respect. And I think you can fake that to a point, but when it's challenged, like you're strong. I'm hearing Swamiji say, like a mountain, being strong like a mountain in who you are. And that's what I was really getting from Pepe Le Pew. He was not, no matter what went on around him, he was not dissuaded from pursuing his lady love. And that was his thing. But it's just an analogy for being on your soul's mission. I feel like what's being illuminated for you, pile number 3, is that you have built up your self-respect. And you will not be gaslit. You will not be made to feel lesser than because somebody else has a problem with your strength. Really amazing. Oh wow. And it takes you don't come out of the womb that way. It takes grit, it takes mastery, it takes chopping wood, carrying water, it takes overcoming obstacles, it takes being okay, failing forward. You can't just have successes in order to build that kind of self-respect. You have to be able to know, in my opinion, that you can deal with challenges and that you can lose it all and you can rebuild. So you're someone you're someone who knows success and someone who knows failure. I used to have a mentor who used to say that she had 2 black belts, one in success and one in failure. And it's also reminding me of Brené Brown, who talked about meeting this venture capitalist on a plane, and the venture capitalist said to her he would never invest in someone who hadn't lost $1 million, and it was because what he was looking for was someone who could recover from losing a million. So resiliency, and to have that passion. Beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight. I don't know if you watch, I love that show Leverage, but there's one episode where Elliot, who's the fighter, and they go to this like broken down town in America, and there's a corrupt kind of MMA fighting ring, and he's explaining to one of the other members of the team that they don't have, what they have to master is what internal. It's not what's out there. Because she's like, oh my God, they just beat each other up and blah 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 blah. And in it, he's explaining, no, they're mastering their own anger, their own frustration, their own pain, all of this kind of stuff. It's really these two cards together are really showing me that you have come up against pile number one. A lot of people who played in your face, who wanted to take you down, who thought that your self-respect was arrogance, and that why are you successful and getting the things that you were getting, and why wasn't it them? It's giving self-worth over entitlement. It's giving hierarchy over superiority. And what I mean by that is, in the spiritual landscape, I'm hearing Yate Vache, the building blocks of all creation are the same. There is always a lesser vibration. There is always a higher vibration. And through your soul's journey, I'm getting that you're a very old soul. And through your soul's evolution, you have been around people who have not been as elevated. And I don't mean that you're better than them. I mean that your frequency is more closer to spirit. You've higher consciousness, which means, what I mean by that is greater awareness, greater access to more insight and realms that others are still not connected to. I hope that makes sense. You've got the Chariot card here. And the Chariot card is a card of movement, but it also, in the traditional Rider-Waite, the charioteer is armored. So he comes, it's interesting, we've got the Chariot, then the Lovers. But in the traditional Rider-Waite, you've got the Lovers, where that can be a point of decision. And then after the decision comes consequences. And consequences, when you choose the behavior, you choose the decision, you're choosing the consequences. And in the Rider-Waite, he is under a canopy of stars, and he's in armor. So I feel like you've learned the consequences of having other people coming for you. There's also the black and the white Sphinx, which drives the Chariot. So there's that mastery of balance, of dark and light, of feminine and masculine, that allows you to propel really at a fast moving pace. It can also denote travel. So I feel like, so we've got 3 sevens here. We talked about that as well. So the three sevens. So that's just giving me kind of 3 sevens is 21, and that's the World card. So I feel like you have just got to a stage of your soul's growth where you'll never be gaslit again about who you are. And when I mean who you are, you know you're a person of integrity. You know you've got skills. You know you're the man, you're the woman, you're all that. And it's not out of arrogance, it's out of experience, out of gnosis, out of having to build from scratch, out of having to defend yourself from people who just decided for some arbitrary reason that they wanted what you had. And with the Lover's card, I'm actually seeing that as a beautiful partnership for you. You might be at a period where you have a decision to make also, some of you. And whatever, you're so in tune with who you are, whatever decision you decide to make, there's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of which road am I going to take. And it is leading to victory, to success, to more elevation, to more expansion, to more up-leveling. And that's what I meant by hierarchy. So superiority to me is more that kind of like, well, I feel better than you. No, that's a subjective 3D misunderstanding of how we're all part of the same universal soul, but there is a hierarchy within the spiritual realm. Like you have the archangels and the seraphim, and then you have humans. We ain't no seraphim. Just, you know what I mean? That's just an example of what I'm trying to say. And then you have the Four of Cups. And in this case, I'm just getting, Four of Cups can be complacent. But in this deck, I'm just really getting a sense of home, a sense of comfort, a sense, and it is saying comfort here for this. And then you've got the Ten of Pentacles. So there's something about in the mundanity of just chop wood, carry water. You are a Ten of Pentacles. That is, if it's not in your, if you haven't built up, let's say, material wealth, if you're not a multi-millionaire, I'm not saying that that's necessarily going to be the case for you. It depends on what you choose and what direction you go in and how you define success for yourself. Whatever you decide to do, that Ten of Pentacles, it could be a health thing. I mean, if you're under that much stress from people who are, smear campaigning you, defaming you, I'm seeing Gulliver's Travels, the Lilliputian, so he's like this giant compared to them, but when they all band together and he's knocked out or washed up on the shore, they're able to tie him down. I'm seeing from the Golden Compass the ice bear, I forget what his name is, that Lyra helps to free, but they get him at a moment of weakness. So when you might have at a moment of weakness had people tie you down, and you've come out of that. You've built your resilience. You've built your way out of that. And health applies to this. So maybe you ended up being unhealthy because of, some circumstances that happened, and then you built yourself up. You are the emperor in your own life. We've got the 4 here repeated, which is stability. And the emperor is a master of the 3D. So whatever success means to you, Emperor is also Aries energy, also Mars, action, passion. So a mature Mars energy. You've really mastered your masculinity. And I feel like some people might take umbrage with not being who they want you to be. That's not your job. Your job is to be you. And then we've got the Ace of Pentacles here, which is maybe you're starting something new. And I love in this Ace of Pentacles, you've got crystals in between here. So maybe this decision that you're going to make is, maybe you're going to go in a new direction. Maybe you're going to start a new career. Maybe you're going to start a new something else. But then you've got the Star card. So the Star card, of course, you've got the lighthouse in this case, is a guiding light for ships, but you are your own guiding light. You are your own star. And I feel like you being you showing up in the world as you commanding your own self-respect and being integrous with yourself about who you are, and not allowing your standards to be compromised by somebody who can't deal with who you are, really is your branding. And I say that as in like energetically, it's like your energetic brand. Like when you move that way, and that's why it's so robust and so strong now, that people can come for you. And I'm hearing that that song, Santi Gold. I forget the name of the song. If I think of it, I'll put it in the people have come for you a lot. I think it's called Go, actually. And it doesn't matter. They can keep coming for you, but they can't take what you have. They can't take who you are. You are you. And I feel like you're very in tune with your soul's purpose, with your life mission. And I feel like that's what's been illuminated for you, really, is how much you have matured, how much you've grown, how much people do actually respect you, even the ones who come for you. The thing about skunk is, people with skunk medicine, they attract people who are of like attracts like. So you're at the stage where you've mastered a lot of lessons. You're still always going to get haters. There's just, the world is full of them. And you're still always going to get people who are jealous and envious and who will, troll you, this, that, and a third. But you're at a stage now where you will also recognize game recognizes game, where this elevated version of you, or this learned, wise version, mature version of you, with discernment, with grit. I keep hearing grit. Who has grit. You can do anything that anything you want in the world. And whereas you might have seen yourself as being younger, smaller, comparative to some people, they say never meet your heroes. Like, we're seeing a lot of behind closed doors of like, oh, that's not who I thought you were. That's coming out in the media very much at this time. But you are the real deal. If anything, you're so bright that you don't shove it in people's face. It kind of reminds me of, on online dating. I don't online date anymore. It's that kind of thing where I always used to notice that people, with all the catfishing and stuff, like before even catfishing became a thing, or maybe it always was a thing, but like people used to guys especially, in my experience, used to really big themselves up. And then you'd meet them and it was just like, they'd take one little thing and inflate it. I mean, I don't know if that's true for everybody. Maybe it was just maybe I was just gullible and I would just never do it. But I feel like your divine blueprint is shining through. You can't hide it anymore. And people feel it, that you might not put it on display, but people feel it. Arise. Know and flow as the love you are, bliss. Source, self-embodiment, inspiration, you are ready. I feel like your strength, your brightness, your self-esteem, the respect that you have, the reputation that you have with yourself. And then we've got multidimensional. Multiple dimensions, timelines that you don't even try to fit in. So you might have in the past, and it's natural when we're younger, that whole peer pressure thing. You were never meant to fit in. And you're owning that. and you're embodying that. And any attempts to kind of submit to the group, let's say, and I don't mean that now you're belligerent with the group. It's just that you're like, no, this is who I am. Never complain, never explain. You just are. And that's really, that's like basic for some people that were raised in a healthy environment. But if you weren't raised in a healthy environment, that's something that you kind of have to learn, because out of survival in an unhealthy environment, you do have to sometimes hide your light because it makes you a target. But you're strong enough now that you're just like, whether I hide my light or I don't hide my light, they're going to come for me anyway. And you're just like, at this stage, you're kind of like, well, bring it on. But you're also much more discerning, and you choose your battles, and you have mastery over your emotions. You're not provoked in a way you might have been as in your pre this journey days. And that's something we all have to learn. Hopefully we come from a healthy environment that teaches us how to do it. But sometimes, you know, we have to learn that outside of the house, because we don't have parents that learned that from their parents. And that's really the essence of family trauma. And I see you very much having overcome family trauma, to be honest. Which is not what that's almost kind of like an acknowledgement from your guides. It's an acknowledgement from spirit. They didn't want to focus so much on the past that you've come from. They really wanted to focus on like the bigness of how who you are now. Like, you're just energetically, you're a giant. And just your aura is just, it's so profound and so strong and so loving, but also you're very protective of not only yourself, but of your loved ones, but of the earth, of truth, of goodness, of integrity, of virtues. No virtue signaling here. This is the real deal. And I think that's what's being illuminated for you. Don't ever doubt yourself anymore, because you just know too much to kind of fake it at this point. There's absolutely no way, shape, or form that you need to or will fake it. You're just like, why would I do that? That's the stage you're at. And I think that that's what's being illuminated for you, pile number 3. So I'm going to leave it there. I feel like this message is complete. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you in another reading. Bye.